Hey, peace and blessings, everybody. I want to thank you first and foremost for tuning in, clicking on, whatever other terminology you want to use for indicating that you are now listening. And I appreciate you for listening. My name is Gerald Hassan, your personal healing and social health master life coach. And today I wanted to speak about something that I believe is definitely affecting us on a social level and on a personal level that is traumatizing people on a day-to-day basis and causing us to have personal issues and or social issues. And I had read this post on Instagram earlier today, and I can't recall who was the lady who actually quoted it, because it was actually in her video she was speaking. And so people kind of have made a post out of that, what she said. And the question was this here. It was, white people, what are you doing to make sure that your kids don't grow up to kill my kids? You know, I thought that was definitely a good question, considering the atmosphere, presently and what has been one that we're very familiar with in America specifically, right? And so that's a good question, right? But me being me, and I'm a person that loves to view things from both sides, and I believe strongly in an individual being able to look into oneself and see what oneself could be doing differently to make their situation better. I'm not going to give someone else all the power to make my situation right, to make my world right, to make, things how I wanted and needed to be. You see, I believe that each and every individual have the power to do that themselves. So when I read the question and I decided to use this question as a basis for what I want to speak about today, I can't do it without also empowering black people. You see, I'm not going to leave black people in a position to where black people are victims of white people, that the black kids are victims of white kids. No, I'm not going to leave it like that. Again, it was a good question, and I think it's a good thing. It kind of gets the mind in the right direction. But like I say, I want to make sure that by the end of the video, that black people are always in a more powerful position in their thinking, in their mental. And you see, you don't get more powerful than when you know that you have the ability to make, create, and destroy your world. That you're the one who are the maker and the creator of your own world, as well as the destroyer of your own world. When you know that can't nothing do nothing to your world unless you allow it to, you see, you don't give a person no more power than that when they know and believe that wholeheartedly. So with that being said, we had so many sisters and brothers who has passed away. And, before I even go into this, like any further, I want to name off a few names. And again, this is only a few compared to the sisters and brothers who have been killed unjustly. Killed unjustly, killed, for minor things that whatever they done didn't warrant that type of killing, or better yet, that isn't the system that's set up. You can't take it in your own hands and kill somebody just because you don't like the way they talk or look or act or respond to your command. So I just want to name off a few, starting with Breonna Taylor, 26 years old when she passed. Ahmaud Arbery was 25. Sean Reed, 21. Mike Brown, 18. Trayvon Martin, 17. Tyree Rice was 12. Sandra Bland, 28. Philando Castile, 32. Freddie Gray, 25. Adrian Medeiros, 48. You see, most of the individual was very young, lost their lives at a very young age. And we want to acknowledge that, and we don't want to forget that. We want to make sure that these individuals don't die in vain. We want to make sure that the reason that they die is something that would not continue to repeat itself. And it's going to continue to repeat itself when the reason that they're dying is subject to hate. And there's no response. You see, hate is a creative force. Hate is just as powerful, or maybe sometimes even more powerful, of a creative force than love. So the only thing that can stop hate is a force as powerful or more. That either we love, the principle that we stand on, that we love those who passed away, and we want to make sure that the principle or the person that, don't leave or go in vain. That this is not going to repeat itself. There are many Trayvon Martins. There are many Tyree Rices. There are many Adrian Medeiros. There are many Freddie Grays and Breonna Taylors and Ahmaud Arbery's and Sean Reed. There are many of them. And while they have their flaws, and there are things that they could have done better, there are things that they didn't have to do, that they done. And that may have put them in a position for hate to exercise its hate. Why that all may be true. They did not deserve the death that they had been dealt. White people, what are you doing? You see, white people, and let me say this here. I'm saying white people because I want you to be clear who I'm talking to, but I don't hate nobody. My thing is that, hey, you don't have to like me. You don't have to love me. I mean, I claim my power. No one has to like nor love me for me to be me and do what I do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, I'm saying white people, what are you doing to make sure that you aren't a part of the problem? And I'm not saying you just per se, but I'm saying your people. What are you doing with your people, to make sure that your thinking isn't a part of the problem? You see, because if you're not doing nothing other than hating it in your heart, I don't like what's going on. I don't like what I see. I don't like, what people are going through. I don't like, that black people are being killed, or black, brown, and yellow people are being, if you just feel it, and you tell a few people that you feel okay with telling, you say that's a cowardly approach to it. Changing it in your heart, I just hate it. Changing it with what you say, or changing it with what you do. You see, changing it with what you do is the greatest of faith. Why I say faith? I'm saying faith because you believe that what you're standing on and the reason that you are doing it for is the right reason, is the reason that obligates you. That it is your truth, that is your faith, that what you're doing is for the right reason. And that you're doing something for the right reason, you'll be rewarded for such, right? What are you doing? Are you talking to the kids? Are you making sure that your kids don't harbor or become programmed with white supremacy ideals and concepts and principles, which is a part of the system? You see, if you sit around and start saying white supremacy isn't, then you'll never get it. You see, white supremacy is a part of the fabric of America. Why do I say that? It's very simple. Because the system of America the foundation of the system of America had been structured way before slavery was even over with. And when we was coming out of slavery, do you think that the people that was in power are the ones that didn't have slaves and didn't want slaves, or whatever the case may be? Do you think that? So if you know that they had slaves, and that was their view and perspective of the black human being, the black man, the black woman, right? If that was their perspective, then every system and law and structure that they had formulated was what? Self-preservation rule number one, right? So therefore, everything that was structured was designed to keep who alive, who's structured, who's safe, who in a good place. The white man and the white woman, of course, right? Don't be crazy. We ain't gonna be crazy. You smart, you very intelligent, and we ain't gonna start acting like we don't understand now. So if you understand that this system is a white supremacist system, then you have to make sure that you are working overtime to unlearn and relearn your child, to make sure that your child's thinking is one that doesn't put that child in a position to where they want to exercise some level of hate or violence on an individual due to their differences. No matter of race, color, ethnicity, sex, preference, all that. We're not going to hate a person and exercise hate and violence on a person because of their choice to live their personal life. Nah, that's not what we're going to do. So what are you doing? When you're around your elders and your friends and they talking that bigotry, racist shit, what are you saying? Are you a part of it? Are you laughing with it? Do you separate yourself? I know can't nobody change nobody, but what are you doing? What are you doing? That's a rhetorical question. That's for you. Ask yourself that. What are you doing? Last and not least about this conversation. Black people, like I said, we're not victims. White people aren't put here to save us. Do you understand? So black people, what are you two doing to make sure that your child doesn't put themselves in a position, one, that hate is able to exercise itself on your child? What do I mean? I'm saying, are you teaching your child control? Are you teaching your child to think? Tap into that creative mind at a very early age. Make them think. Make them figure it out. Make them think. Because not every situation that they come in contact with, you've already given them the homework on. You've already given them the exam on or the course on. You see, some of these situations they come in contact with are going to be brand new, and they're going to need to be able to think creatively. Black people, are you starting to represent the change you want to see? You see, because you can't just talk change. No. You can't just talk change. You got to represent change first. You have to become that. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you have to become that first with yourself. Yeah, now listen, you got to become that, because I'm not going to allow us to be in a victim state of mind or in a victim's position. You see, I remember I read the book, James Allen. James Allen say, you see, who is the one that's most wretched? The slave or the slave owner? You see, if there wasn't a slave, there could be no slave owner. I know I may have paraphrased that, but here's the thing about that. You see, a slave is a mindset, is a mentality. You have to submit to that. You would never become that if you don't mentally submit to that. You see, we are afraid to die. We think freedom is supposed to be given. We think liberty is supposed to be given. But you see, when God gave us free will, he did not give it to us without an obligation or a debt. There's a debt that has to be paid for you to exercise free will. And sometimes that debt may be your life. Are you willing to spend your life on your freedom, your people's freedom, your children's freedom, if need be? Whether it be literally or figuratively. What are you doing to make sure that your child isn't also a part of our diminishing, demising problem? What are you doing to make sure your child isn't also killing another black child? Isn't speaking hate? Isn't speaking division? You see, all those games we learn to play, where we like to talk about each other, bab rattle, how disrespectful. See, we get entertainment out of being violent towards each other. We've been taught that is a form of entertainment. What are you doing? What are you doing? What am I doing? You see, what am I doing? I first and foremost try to always make sure I'm a representation myself of everything that I speak and talk about. I'm not perfect, and I definitely have some areas I have to and need to grow. But one thing I won't do is ever try to justify my imperfections, justify my wrongs, or become a victim to anything that I didn't put out or do. If I cause something to happen because of whatever, this, that, and other, and even if I did, I'm gonna try to figure out what I done wrong to make sure it don't happen again. I'm not a victim. I'm not embracing nobody. I'm gonna still be able to recognize whatever vices or faults that individual or that source or whatever have, but I'm gonna make sure that it's something that I learned I could have done different. You understand? I want to be a representation first. And everything that I believe and stand on, and the change that I want to see, I'm going to try to become that, and I'm going to speak that, and I'm going to teach that to the best of my ability. Peace and blessings.